Ew. Stinky. Some of that out there. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Thanking you. Okay, pick one. I'll go with this. Hi Lance, hey Lance. No heart. no heart. I'm very tempted to shave my head sometime soon. Or at least get a trim. At least that way I'll save a fortune on shampoos and conditioner, right? Hey JJ, how you doing? Really good, thanks. Hope you are well. Hope the weekend is treating you good. Just trying to get some painting in before the Sunday previews go live. Yeah. Thanks, JJ. Yeah, cheers for tuning in. glazing takes so long. Some bushcrafting. Sounds fancy. I don't dare go outdoors this weekend because of the weather warnings in Warrington. Hey, Zalon. Working on some terrain. Cool. It's been nice and sunny there, yeah. Wish the sun would come back here. I'm gonna do some work on my car, to be honest. Nice to see you enjoying some painting and not stressing at the store. Oh, I'm still stressing about the store whilst I'm here. Right now I'm thinking about like what they're going to announce today that I need to buy or try and get allocation for tomorrow. Yeah, 1 more hour. It doesn't come at a nice time neither with all these price adjustments and stuff like that, so it's just like, ugh. And then tomorrow I've got the dentist and ugh. Can October be over already? Yeah, October usually does look or can look good in Warrington or the UK in general, but we've just had windy weather warnings and a crap ton of rain. So much so, like yesterday was one of the worst Saturdays we've ever had in the store. And I was sat inside there and I was like, where is everyone? And then when I left, I was like, oh, I can see why no one came out, because the weather was absolutely dreadful. It was like a safety thing, really. So makes complete sense. I don't know why October's just decided to kick off badly. Storm Amy, I think it was called. I think the worst of it's gone now, though, at least. Just a little bit heavier there. What am I painting today? It's the Space Wolf Terminators. So, what have I done so far? So there's the yellow shoulder pads. And then there's the blue shoulder pads. And then there's the heads. And then recently started the arms, and then started the shields, and then started the main guy, because I like the claws. I opened a box of Wolfguard Terminators to just use one decal for Wolf Priest. So I was like, screw it, I've not painted Terminators before, and I like Space Wolves, they look quite cool, they look a bit different than normal Space Marines, and I wanted to paint something lighter than black. So, yeah, I'm giving these a shot. The other bodies are over there, they've been base coated. So that's where I am at the moment with them. The heads are kinda done, I think. These shoulders, just like the accessories, need doing on it, and maybe a little bit more shading. Especially round the on the is that the Crux Terminators? I don't know. But on the emblem thing, they need a little bit more. I'm blending these shoulders. I'm kind of realising I think that might be the wrong symbol for these guys, but screw it, who cares? I just want to paint something that looks decent. One shield is a bit further on than the others, this one. But again, still a long way to go on everything. The new Kill Team box looks interesting. If only you knew a Tau player. Yeah. Do you know what? I think it's a bit of a weird box, to be honest. But why not? You know, who am I to say is good or bad? I do like. I think some of the space walls in it look weird, but also good at the same time. So like, you know, leather gloves, and I like the leather like wrap around their backpack. That looks really cool. So it's nice to see some different elements that are like differentiating them from other Space Marine chapters and stuff like that. So I like that. I just think some of the models are way more successful than others. The Tau stuff, I actually like the bubblier stealth battle suits, the ones that are currently available in the small box, but that's me. But an interesting box nonetheless. Nice job on your sword simile. Thanks. Yeah, this is the first it's the first real squad I want to make a good effort at. But I like the little, I like being able to just do all of them at once type of thing. I think that's quite cool. And you get little wins, like when I finished the heads, I was like, these look really good. I'm motivated to do other bits now. But some things are just nowhere near as friendly as others, right? But yeah, still good fun. Be right back, 2 minutes. I'm back. I can't remember what I was doing. That was it, painting. Okay, back to it. Where was I? Hey, oh. Just gonna pour myself some drink. I'm gonna put these on. Time to 420 glaze it. What yellow am I using? This is Avalon Sunset GW. With some glaze medium. And I will need some Mornfang brown as well. At least I think it was Mornfang. Just have a little bit there. Doesn't need to be a lot. I want to say this was actually mixed. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. This might be too dark, but we'll see. Hey miniature pingles, saw a silicone fidget popper on your desk last time I was in. Picked one up from the charity shop today. Game changer. Game changer. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they're very useful. I find the best thing I use them for is if I'm doing like lots of I have an airbrush, and if I'm doing a lot of like speed paints or contrast paints for an airbrush, just loading a few of them into that and then getting a size 6, wicking the stuff up into the airbrush spray, clean airbrush, wicking a new one up into the airbrush spray, rather than having all the pots there just ready to fall over. That's what I've found them mega useful for. But yeah, for the price of them, they're very handy. Very handy indeed. Oh yeah, the one that's in like the shape of like, is it a servitor skull or something like that? Yeah, well, it's a good product. It's fine. Odd design for it though, if I'll be honest. Yeah, it's just paint would run all over it and strange. But you know, it is what it is. It's still a good product. But when you can get like a fidget popper for like £1 or £2.50 for a large one or something like that, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? That's the GW tax. In fact, let's try doing some glazing of this brown on there already. Do you know what? No, I won't. I need more yellow on him. Yeah, you don't need a big one. I know. I think Army Paint are releasing one in the not too distant future. Again, it's going to be around about £10 to £15, I think, and it is poppers. So it's way more useful in that aspect, and it's coloured white. I would say if you can get a hold of like a very bright one, cream, white, light grey, then they're probably more beneficial because you get to see the actual colour, especially if you're using speed paints and stuff, which are translucent. So I can vouch for them. I think I got some spooky shaped ones from Tesco the other day for like £2.50 for a large one. I bought one for Matt as well, and I've already got some cream ones that I've had for a while. So I think in that aspect the Army Painter one will be quite useful, but it's going to be, you know, probably £10 or something along those lines, I think. This is a great thing about having like 4 shoulders on one, because like you can go from one to the other, one to the other, one to the other, whilst the other's drying, and then go back to it, rather than needing to use a hairdryer or something like that. Oh, is it 8 wells? Cool, cool, yeah. Thought it was 8 or 10 or something like that. Do I reckon Hatton's Row will ever do Sundays? No. So I've actually spoke to the council about this, and they said their main reasoning is the reason they don't do Sundays or late is security, cost of security essentially, not an individual person to do security, just in general the town and its location in the town. They say is that and security are the main reason why. Cost. For all intents and purposes, it's just cost. I mean, that's why one of the primary reasons we're looking for another place, hopefully sometime next year, is so that we can open on Sundays and we can open later, right? We've seen some nice places recently that have popped up, but it's just not the right time. Yeah, it's a shame. They're meant for like. It feels like Hatter's Row wants people who run like service-based businesses in there. So like, you know, masseuses or hairdressers and stuff like that. It's not really catered necessarily for retail, which is a shame because that's what it was originally intended for. TV bots. Would you look into places where you can rent out tables or stick to shop only? No. So the next place we're looking for, we want to be. So the store at the moment is 211 square feet, which for people who have been in, you know, or if you've seen it on video, it's quite tiny. And it's fine for just a shop and a painting space. But we're limited on what ranges we can stock because we can't fit them. And also, you know, stock in general, right? No play tables. So next place we want at least to be 4 times bigger. So, you know, 850, 1,000, 1,200 square feet. More if it's affordable. Because you got to think, you got to fill that space, you've got to heat it and all that type of jazz and light it. So we're keeping an eye out for a place that hopefully has parking. He's still in Warrington, within walking distance of the town centre. Preferably not right direct in the town centre. We want something that's just a bit outside, but within walking distance. Parking, at least 800 to 1,000 square feet. What else? And disabled access. So not on like a second or third floor or anything like that. Preferably something that has like either a ramp or no steps to access it, and a toilet. For the reason of we want more painting tables and we want play tables. So yeah, it's just waiting for something like that to become available, and obviously at the right time. Why not in the town centre? Mainly security. So if you're in the town centre, if you direct, you'll get passive foot flow, right? Great. Not all that passive foot flow is good. You get a lot of yobs and stuff like that. Fair enough, they exist. Parking becomes a bit more of a nightmare. Deliveries are an absolute nightmare, especially if you're ordering anything big, right? It puts a lot of strain on the delivery driver and all that gubbins. The amount of packages that they've just not delivered to us because they said they can't get access or whatever has been annoying. And then yeah, it's security and, you know, being able to open at night, really. So like when we're talking town centre, I mean like, you know, the one that's just walkable. We would eliminate some passive foot flow, we get that, but the hope is you know, we get a place that actually has access for people to actually drive there and park, or they could park there and go somewhere else. So, you know what I mean? These swings and roundabouts. There's always going to be a compromise. That's the thing. There's always going to be a compromise. But we don't want to. We want to try our best to not alienate what customers we've attained so far, but whilst also being able to grow it. You know. Do you get many people that just walk in and buy stuff? At my LGS, I think it's all people that found the big Warhammer store and want 20% off. Do we get people that just walk in and buy stuff? Yeah, quite often. one of the reasons I wanted to open in Warrington near a Warhammer store is that I could offer what they can, more of what they can, and cheaper. So we get many people who come in and go like, didn't know you were here, didn't know you existed, didn't know you. Some people don't even know you can get discounted Warhammer stuff. Yeah, we get that quite frequently. Your local store is friendly, you love visiting, but the GW tax. I go in for the mini of the month, and that's it. But not this month, definitely skippable. I get it. I know a lot of people do not like the price that GW have. The way I look at it is, I've been dealing with GW now for a good 4 or 5 months, right? I don't want to sound like a shill, but they've done they've got some really good customer service. I'm not talking about individual stores here. I know some stores are really bad, but I mean in general. Like, if you've ever got an issue, they put it right, like almost no questions asked. And I feel like sometimes, and the quality of their stuff is good, right? You know, I get, you know, do you really want to spend? I don't know how much GW charge for Wolfguard Terminators, but like £45 for some Terminators or something, and it's like all these plastic models, and then you still got to buy other stuff to build and assemble them. I get it, but you know, if one of those arms was misformed or there was a dodgy bit of it, if I got in contact with them or any, I mean it's the same with those as well, it gets sorted. Like, there's no questions asked, and I think in the UK especially, having that kind of like great pipeline is sometimes worth a little bit of a premium. You can obviously buy cheaper models, but if anything ever goes wrong, or it is wrong, the order of operations to actually get something fixed is never, is sometimes not that simple. And I say that because more recently I've run into those issues, and I don't know, it makes you appreciate it, if that makes sense. But yeah, since you can get GW stuff for for the most part, between 10 and 20% cheaper elsewhere in the UK, then why wouldn't you? The Warhammer stores are just a gateway store, essentially, aren't they? Yeah, I think to me, good customer service does mean a lot. Absolutely. So I find it very hard sometimes to actually put the miniature where the camera sees it. My apologies. Yeah, good customer service and reliability, I think, and supply in some cases. Yeah, it's massive. Cool. Yeah, look forward to seeing it, man. Take care. Have fun. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. What's the white you are mixing with? Is it white or is it medium? This is glazed medium. This is this stuff, Vallejo glazed medium. I could easily, I could airbrush these. I airbrush the base coats on, but I'm testing glazed medium essentially. I'm using it to just blend stuff. Hence why I'm taking a long time with it, because I'm trying to learn and figure out what's best. How many entries are you anticipating in your painting competition? No idea. I mean, one of the reasons we made it like an open competition without like vehicle, big miniature, small miniature categories and stuff like that is because we have no idea how many we're going to get. We've probably had around about 20 people thereabouts register interest already and said they're going to do something for it. Whether or not they do though is a different matter. I anticipate a lot of people will probably leave their entries to the very end, just so either A, they can do something else first, pick a model, or they'll rush it at the end or something. I don't know, but I anticipate we'll get a few at the end at least. I hope we get 30 plus, but we'll see. Is there anything on Warhammer community yet? Let's have a look. Oh, there is. So we have what is coming next week for pre-order. I had a feeling it was going to be this stuff. Oh. Oh, go away. Go away. Let's try that again. So I'm looking up on my top monitor, so I realise I look like an idiot. Let's get this on the side screen. So next week, Canuck Var, Iron Hands. Okay, great. Combat Patrol, Iron Hands. Not bad, but not as good as some of the other ones they've had recently. Combat Patrol White Scars with Saboden Khan as a character inside it. Fair enough. The dice for each. Fair enough. Oh, Captain with Jump Pack and Relic Shield. Nice. Combat Patrol Harlequins. Okay. Some plushies. Mouse Mart. Christmas jars. A book, Dropsite Massacre for the Heresy. Spear of Ultramar, another. Is it just an audio book that? Whatever. Dreadwing. Toadswell, another book. Oh, it's the German edition of Death Wilder. Okay, fair enough. So essentially, 3 combat patrols, 3 characters, and 2 sets of dice. Let's see if I can get this as a source. Browser source. Close that. So yeah, you can see there's this is what's coming up for pre-order next week, I guess. Canavar, he's a cool character. The Iron Hands Combat Patrol, not too bad. White Scars. The dice, I like the White Scars dice. They're quite cool, actually. And a Captain with Jump Pack and Relic Shield. Now, I don't. Is this going to be? Is this just for Warhammer Day or Warhammer stores? And Combat Patrol Harlequins. Yeah, I think the characters might be popular. You know, we'll be buying some of that. We'll get a couple of boxes of each, hopefully, or something like that. Maybe more characters than the Combat Patrols. The thing is, now that people know that these Iron Hands and White Scars Combat Patrols are going to be... They're just going to be limited, right? They're not going to be forever. Yeah, this product is available while stocks last. Okay. So is the Harlequins one. Okay, that's interesting. So it's not a forever box. Christmas jumpers, brilliant. I actually like the Space Wolf one, as weird as that sounds. And a lot of Black Library stuff. Okay, not too crazy. Let's okay. Yeah. The big box at the moment, I think that's going to prove really popular with people, is the Crux Terminators one, and any of the Ultramarine stuff when that drops. So it's annoying because, like, when we get transactions done in store, we don't get instant payout for when a person buys something. It's usually a week before we actually get the money for it. So if you have a really good week, you've got to wait a week before you actually get the money to actually buy the stock that you want in. So there's always like a 2-week delay before you actually have the stock if you purchase it when you exactly get the money. But there's always other bills and stuff like that and invoices that you've got to settle for. So yeah, you know, I'm glad it wasn't the Crux Terminators box and all that jazz. So I usually I would have pretty good guesstimates as to what would be coming next. But when they released the Drukhari box, that just kind of shot that out of the water. So it's like, I don't know when and what's coming. I would have thought that this release being Space Marine orientated, okay, it's different chapters, but the next one wouldn't be Ultramarines, I would have thought or hoped. I think the next one will be like an AOS release or another Heresy release. So I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I think I'm actually gonna call it there. I didn't want to stream too long. I need to go make some business decisions now and budget for next week. Cheers if you're still around. Thanks to anybody who tuned in. It's always handy and helpful. Give the website a look and all that jazz. Take care, have fun, see you soon, and enjoy the rest of your week.